If your conversion rate is below 4%, do not dismay, because it's actually trying to tell you something. And it's more than how well your ads are doing or if your offers are good enough. Because here's the thing, we've been treating conversion rates like it's a verdict. If it's low, you'd fix your ads and you'd spend more money, right? So each month feels like you're starting again. But I'm a web designer working with a multi-million-dollar e-commerce business, and my main job is to look at website analytics and figure out how we can increase that conversion rate. So I'm in the weeds all day trying to figure this out, and through making many mistakes, I realized that conversion rate isn't just a measure of performance, because underneath, it's actually recording how people are reacting to your brand. So your conversion rate is actually a clue. And once you learn to decode what it's actually saying, you won't need to guess anymore and throw money at things that aren't even the problem in the first place. So in this video, I'm going to show you where to find these hidden clues, the problems they're pointing out in your Shopify store, and most importantly, what you can do about it without needing to be an analyst or spending another cent on expensive ads. And I promise, I won't talk about any cheap tactics, because my goal with this channel is to reveal the underlying psychology behind why people buy. And everything I'm gonna share is an insight from my personal experience doing the work. I've also done my best to make this video super actionable so you can apply it to your store today. So what are these clues I'm talking about? Well, let's look at what it actually means. Conversion rate is just a measure of how many people go into your store versus how many actually buy. So really, conversion rate is just a measure of what's going on between those 2 points. If you look at it as is, it's a black box. So where is the clue? Well, you have to start unpacking it. Think about the last time you found an online store through an ad. You wouldn't buy something straight away. First, you'd click around to figure out what kind of products they have. Then you'd probably go away, have a think about it, and maybe come back another day. So there's this whole process before we commit to buying something. And if you open your Shopify dashboard, you can actually see what those steps are and how many people are dropping off at each point. And this is your clue. Because now we can pinpoint exactly where the problem is, and if you can fix them, you can reduce these drops and your overall conversion rate will increase. Now, I want to show you the problems that these drops point to. But before I do, I want you to remember one thing. Behind these numbers are actual people. They're actively choosing to leave your store, and there's 2 main psychological reasons why they would. The first psychological reason is called the imagination gap, and it directly relates to this huge dip right here. The imagination gap is our lack of ability to want what we can't picture. It's like if somebody gives you a funky looking vase, you wouldn't know what to do with it, right? Not until you jump on Pinterest and you look at what kind of room it could fit into. And then something interesting happens. The vase becomes desirable because now you can see exactly how it will transform your space. That's how powerful this imagination bridge is, because products don't mean anything until you bridge it to a transformation, specifically a transformation that your customers want. That's why IKEA showrooms are so popular. Because if you only had a picture of a couch by itself, your brain can't run a simulation of what it's like to own it. No simulation, no desire. No desire, no purchase. IKEA understood this, so they built the same experience online to amplify the effect. When you look at their website, you can see them constantly feeding you ideas. Their homepage literally has a get the look section, because they know their customers don't arrive wanting a specific sofa. They have a vague vision of how they want to transform their living room. So by showing them that vision first, the sofa becomes the most obvious way to get it. And they didn't stop there, because once you click into the product, they feed you with even more ideas. They also visually demonstrated the benefits and even the dimensions. So on your Shopify dashboard, if you see a huge drop between the start of your session to the cart, the imagination gap is usually why. So say you've successfully bridged the imagination gap, but you're still seeing this dip between cart and checkout. It hurts, but there's a psychological reason behind it, and it's totally fixable. Again, think about the last time you were about to buy something from a brand you've barely heard of. You're excited and you have your card ready, and then you stop. Because wait, what if you're getting scammed? So you open a new tab and intentionally look for the bad reviews. It's confirmation bias, but in reverse. Confirmation bias is when you search for information to confirm what you already believe. But at checkout, the reverse happens. People actively search for negative information. They're trying to find a reason not to feel stupid if something goes wrong. This is called disconfirmation seeking. So how do you counter it without making your store look bad? The most direct way is to build your reviews off your website. Trustpilot, Google, Reddit, any place where people have honest conversations. Because you know that those reviews are unfiltered. Even if there's some slightly negative ones, that's okay. It's actually healthy. And having some negativity floating around actually makes you look real, transparent, and honest. You should also include PayPal as a payment option because people use PayPal for fraud protection. So having that option on your website is a promise that the risk is reversible. You should also make your return policy visible at checkout. It tells your customers that if what they get doesn't match what they expect, there's always a way back. So your conversion rate actually tells you way more than how your store's doing. It's a map, and now you know how to read it. But it's only one part of the equation. There are other numbers that you need to look out for, and they're often misinterpreted by e-com gurus. They tend to give you tactics that seem helpful, but is actually hurting your business. I've broken down the main ones I've come across in this video, so I'll see you there.